Understanding group dynamics is not just for team leaders or managers. It's for every participant in the team. And knowing group dynamics can make your work more efficient, more fun, and makes you a valuable contributor to the team. When everyone understands group dynamics in a team, we can all help each other to perform at the highest level possible and move the group towards a higher performing group dynamic. When everyone on a team understands group dynamics, it keeps energy and motivation high and creates a productive and powerful team. A team where more members can identify what's going on in the group and all members are striving to have a creative and productive team environment is a very powerful team, and they're delightful to work in. And achieving this kind of result requires everyone to chip in and do their best work, not only in the work that they do, but how we interact as a team and how we support each other through the team's progressions. I mentioned in an earlier video that I've been trained in Susan Whelan's model of group development called Integrated Model of Group Development, which is quite a handful to say. IMGD for short. I don't know. If you want to read more about it, I highly recommend her book, Creating Highly Effective Teams. If you're in Sweden, I can recommend a few courses that I personally think are really good. Leave a comment below and I'd be happy to share some suggestions of where you can learn more if you want to take a course in this in Sweden. The integrated model of group development comprises of 4 stages plus 1/5. The idea is that your team will move through these 4 different stages, but external factors or conflicts or new team members temporarily move the team back 1 or more stages before you can come back to the other stages. The 4 stages are forming, storming, norming, and performing. I'll go through each stage in more detail in a little bit, but the idea is that if you know the different stages and know how to identify them, you can help your team move through the early stages to the more productive stages of 3 and 4 as quickly as possible. Especially you want to stay clear of stage 2 if you can, because it's quite draining for the team to be there. So having multiple team members or a team leader that knowledgeable about this, then you can move through these different stages. Ideally, you want to be in stage 4. However, most teams only reach stage 3. Stage 4 is, of course, the peak of the group dynamics. We'll get more into it in a bit. I'll go through the stages in a little bit more detail in a little bit, but the general concept is each team will go through these 4 stages, and you want to assist the team to get to the end stages of the group dynamics as fast as possible. Especially you want to go through stage 2 as fast as possible, because stage 2 can be quite draining for a team. So ideally you want your team to be performing at stage 4. However, most teams, they get stuck at stage 3. A dysfunctional team will get stuck in stage 2, and that's draining. You don't want to be there. Each stage requires different leadership and different participation in order to move through to the next stage. This makes it really important to be able to identify what stage you're in right now, how you can help move the group to move along to a more productive stage. And this applies not only to team leaders or managers, it applies to participants as well. After all, it's the team that will work together and be productive together. It needs to be a team effort to get to the productive stages as fast as possible and stay there. Hi, my name is Morten Nielsen. I'm a serial startup CTO with over 20 years of experience of building software products and software development teams. If you like the content that I provide, please like, share, and subscribe. And otherwise, I hope you're enjoying the content. Let's get into the different stages of group development. All right, the first stage is forming. Forming is when you bring your team together for the first time or when you have new members coming in. It's very easy to identify because of its early stage nature. You sort of know that you're all new and a little bit uncomfortable with each other. You don't know how to fit in. You don't know really what needs to be done or how to do it. And this is where a clear leadership or clear tasks help in order for you to progress through stage 1. This is where onboarding is really important. This is where showing people that they are welcome and that they're valued early. Having early successes is a really great way for your team to sort of quickly go through the stage 1 of forming and then continue on to the next stage. The next stage, however, is storming. And it's called storming because it has a high potential of conflict. Because once you've passed through stage 1 of the forming, everyone knows what to do, how to do it, what's expected of them. They sort of bring in their own personality quirks and their different behaviors as they get more comfortable in the group. This sometimes means that the different personalities will butt heads a little bit, or sometimes there are not clear expectations of the quality of output or how important certain meetings are contra writing code versus meetings and working together versus working in person. All of these different things can sort of create conflict environments before your team gets to know each other. So it's really important here for your team members to know that there is a storming stage in the group dynamic and that we will work through it as a team through discussion and getting to know each other a little bit more and trusting each other in order for us to progress on to stage 3. Again, we quickly want to move past stage 2, and it helps that you have a team leader that is knowledgeable about the storming phase of the group dynamic process. But informing your team members, if they don't already know, is also really good. Stage 3, norming. This is sort of where most teams work on an everyday basis. You've managed to get through the storming phase, you know each other, you know how to work with each other, you get the work done. But as a leader, this stage is more about facilitating and empowering your team members, making them capable of working autonomously, making their own decisions, sort of making sure that they can run as fast as possible, if you will. So a hallmark sign of the team being in the norming stage is you have improved communication because team members feel comfortable with talking to each other and expressing concerns about the team or the goals or how to do things. But the group isn't really running at full capacity yet. Challenges may still arise, and this could potentially be because something comes in from the side, challenging how the group works or changing the goals mid-work or changing direction in mid-work, or potentially new hires coming in. This could all move the group backwards, and you still need to sort of maintain that and have a good way of working with it. The goal here is to make the norms of the group as explicit as possible. We want to document how we do things, our processes. We want to make clear what we expect of each other, the shared agreements of the group, making them very tangible so everyone knows what's expected of them. And all of these efforts will help you move the group or the team into stage 4, which is the performing stage. All right, stage 4, performing. This is the sweet spot. This is where you want to keep your team. This is where every high-performing team is. In this stage, your group works as a well-oiled machine. They know what's expected of them. They know what decisions need to be made, and they know what direction they need to make those decisions so that they can move ahead in a highly efficient way. You can substitute tasks between team members because they know, all right, this needs to be done in this way. We have set protocols for doing that. I can be efficient with it. And they can sort of cover each other's back or make sure that, they delegate tasks between them. At this stage, the group is highly effective. They're capable of taking on challenging tasks and executing on it efficiently. Creativity and innovation flourish because the team members feel comfortable with sharing ideas and innovations and discussing them without feeling judged or mistreated in any way. In this stage, leadership can take a step back. You sort of only need to monitor and make sure that people are working on the right things. Instead of directing, the leader sort of more needs to coach, remove blockers, make sure that people have enough information for them to do the work, and sharing progress with stakeholders. Because as a leader, when your group is in stage 4, you can trust them because you know that they will work as efficiently as possible and they will create the best possible solution that they possibly can. And you can sort of just nudge them, help them grow, and make sure that the product is developing in the direction that the company needs or wants. However, unless you take care of your team, you might lose stage 4 and go back to stage 3. The reason is because people, unless they're being celebrated or that you keep motivating them and their energy levels are high, unless this happens, people will become complacent or they'll burn out. And this is, of course, something that then will make the group slower. So making sure and keeping an eye on energy levels, motivation, making sure the team celebrates their successes is really, really important to stay in stage 4. Otherwise, you can sort of lose it and then you need to rebuild the group to come back into stage 4. So a high-performing team is also resilient because they've been glued together. They know how each other work. They know how to have each other's back. And they can sort of work through difficult things as they arise without falling back into storming or conflict phases. Now, I mentioned there was one more stage, and that's the dissolving phase. So the dissolving phase is one of the most important things you can work on as a leader in your team. Dissolving can really, really erode trust if not handled properly. So if you're dissolving the entire team, make sure that you document and sort of show everyone what the team has done, celebrate the successes that you've accomplished, and make sure that people leave the team with a sense of pride and joy, because you never know who you're going to work with in the future. And especially in a highly effective team, it's highly likely that you would want to work with these team members in the future again. So keeping that trust and laying a foundation to keeping that trust as the team dissolves is really important. Another really important thing to handle is when someone quits, or even if someone is being fired. Especially the last one, because if someone's being fired, then the entire team will look at how that scenario is handled, and that is where you can really damage trust in you as a leader or management in general. Handling dissolving when a team member leaves the team, either through quitting or being fired, is a really important thing for you as leader or manager to handle in your team. Because the entire team will look at how you handle the situation. And it can really erode trust for you as a manager or between team members if this is not handled correctly. The goal here should always be, you should always be able to be proud of the person who's been there, they've contributed, they've worked with the team, and you at some point will in the future meet them, and you should be able to shake hands or have a nice conversation. And you especially want to make sure that no one is shit-talking anyone in either direction. Everyone needs to know why this is happening, how this is happening, and also they need to be emotionally safe and understand that you're not going to shit-talk someone just because they quit. Sometimes life situations change. Sometimes they get a better offer. Sometimes people come back to your company if you treat them correctly when they're leaving your company. All right. So I hope that in this video you've learned that it's not only a team leader that has benefits of knowing group dynamics. If you can teach your team, or if individual team members can help out identifying where your team is in these different stages, it makes it easier to have conversations about them. And that in turn makes trust building so much faster. And trust is the key element here, because if you want to create a highly effective software development team, there needs to be trust, because we're all sharing ideas and thoughts and how we're trying to problem solve together. And this is a high friction and really hard thing to do. It requires a lot of communication, it requires a lot of patience. And If you have trust, then it sort of becomes easier, because then your team members, as they interact with each other, can understand that, oh, he's not being a shithead, he's just tired. Or, oh, okay, but I know that I can ask for help if I need it, because what we want to achieve is no one gets stuck. We want to move ahead as fast as possible. And if team member can ask each other for help and be comfortable with each other, sharing ideas and trying to problem solve together, that will be a much more efficient team. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. Leave a comment below and like, subscribe, share, all of that. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.